always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am Sarah, and I am your host for this episode. Hope you're having a great day, and we're here to talk about, of course, entertainment news. What is going on in all of the various aspects of the world of entertainment. Let's start with sports/celebrity news, and that is that Beyoncé and husband attended Game 3 of the NBA Finals. That is, of course, the Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors were successful tonight, 123-109, making them 2 games up to 1 over the Golden State Warriors. This was the first game to be held in Oakland during this season. So apparently Beyoncé and JayZ showed up partway through the first quarter and, of course, made social media just kind of explode. It's pretty much what they do, right? They arrived, as I said, a few minutes into the first quarter, and it caused a bit of a frenzy. They were seated next to Golden State Warriors owner Joe LaCobe on the court, and JayZ's dressed in a sweatshirt, and Beyonce's dressed in this amazingly fabulous gold concoction that I'm not even sure I can describe to you, but it's very Beyonce, and I can't think that I would wear that to a basketball game, but what do I know? I'm not Beyonce. It is very impressive. I mean, if you're looking to make an entrance, this outfit will do it. She was also wearing gold heels, and she accessorized with a by far leather clutch purse. Neither of them wore jerseys for a specific team, although Beyoncé did wear gold, so that could probably provide a hint as to who they were rooting for. They do attend several basketball games per year. I saw several mentions of this being a date night for the couple. Not sure if that is actually true or not, but not a bad thing to have a date night for. Get dressed up and go hang out at the NBA Finals. Speaking of JayZ, he's had a pretty interesting week himself, as he is officially hip-hop's first billionaire, according to Forbes. And this is from NBC News. The Brooklyn rapper and mogul, whose real name is Sean Carter, has amassed a fortune worth $1 billion, according to Forbes, making him one of only a handful of entertainers to become a billionaire and the first hip-hop artist to do so. His sprawling business empire includes stakes in liquor, art, real estate, and big-name companies like Uber. He has won 22 Grammys, which is amazing. He's launched his own brands. He has his own clothing label called RocoWear, which was sold to Iconics for more than $200 million in 2007. Sorry, I should have said he launched his own clothing label. So the relatively short list of entertainment industry billionaires also includes Star Wars creator George Lucas, Oscar award-winning director Steven Spielberg, media mogul Oprah Winfrey, and retired NBA star Michael Jordan. And this was according to a list published last year by Forbes. Forbes said it calculated the artist's net worth by evaluating his positions in private companies, adding up his income and subtracting a, quote, healthy amount to account for a superstar lifestyle. The magazine added that it ran its numbers by outside experts to make sure its estimates were fair and conservative. So, interesting. yeah, I guess it's not like they just go knock on someone's door and say, "Hi, can we have your financial records? We'd like to write about you being a billionaire." JayZ is 49. They officially became a billion-dollar pair in 2017 with a combined net worth of more than $1.16 billion. Beyonce, who is 37, has an individual net worth of more than $350 million, according to Forbes calculations. The hip-hop star who comes closest to JayZ is Diddy, with an estimated net worth of $825 million. In 2014, it was thought that Dr. Dre would snag that first hip-hop artist billionaire spot when his Beats company was sold to Apple for more than $3 billion, but Forbes estimated his net worth at the time would have been almost $800 million, saying capital gains taxes would eat a big chunk. So, well, congrats to JayZ for being that, for, hitting that milestone and being the first hip-hop artist to do. In other music news and in other news relating to what was on television tonight, the CMT Awards aired this evening. Some of the winners include Carrie Underwood, Cry Pretty for Video of the Year. Male Video of the Year was Kane Brown, Lose It. Female Video of the Year, Carrie Underwood again, Love Wins. Duo Video of the Year, Dan and Shay, Speechless. Group Video of the Year. Are you sensing a theme here? I mean, it is Country Music Video and Television Awards. Group Video of the Year, Zac Brown Band, Someone I Used to Know. Breakthrough Video of the Year, Ashley McBryde, Girl Going Nowhere. And let's see, Collaborative Video of the Year, Keith Urban featuring Julia Michaels, Coming Home. CMT Performance of the Year, Luke Combs and Leon Bridges, Beautiful Crazy. That is from CMT Crossroads. The awards show was hosted by Little Big Town and included performances from Luke Combs, Maren Morris, Luke Bryan, and an all-star Tanya Tucker rendition of Delta Dawn. So it was an exciting night tonight on television between the NBA Finals and the CMT Awards. In more music news, we'll go back to the story we talked about in a previous episode, that Adam Levine is leaving The Voice, even though it had been previously stated that he was coming back for season 17. His wife, Bahati Prinsloo, has opened up about this decision to leave The Voice. And on an interview on today, June 5th, she explained why it's a good thing. She said she's happy that Adam Levine is going to be spending more time at home with her and their two kids, Dusty 2 and Geo 1, now that he is moving on from serving as a coach on The Voice. But she said she's not sure what they plan on doing. She's quoted as saying, "His departure is good news for me, good news for the kids. He is on tour at the moment. He's excited to get home and for the first time have nothing to do." I'm like, what am I going to do with you or with him? In addition to admitting she and Adam still need to figure out how to spend their time, she also gushed about how much she loves raising her kids with her hubby and how she's taking in all the special moments as much as possible. She's quoted as saying, "It's going great. I'm in it. I'm in the middle of it. It's amazing." Motherhood, I think, as you all know, is such an incredible experience and really something that you take so seriously and gives you so much joy. We are having fun. She also revealed that she tries to make sure her family is together as much as possible by joining Adam on tour with Maroon 5 whenever she and the girls can. She said, "I used to go a lot. The girls came when he did America. We stayed in New York for 10 days, and they kind of did all around. We've done a few trips here and there. The older they get and the easier and more fun it will be." So she was on the Today Show to talk about her work in protecting endangered black rhinos by supporting and being part of organization Save the Rhino Trust Namibia. So she was on today to talk about that work. And of course, they asked her about hubby and what's going on with them. It sounds like they will have some more time together, which is always nice when you have small children. It will definitely be interesting to see how The Voice changes with Adam no longer being a part of the show. Obviously, the judges have changed each season, although Adam and Blake Shelton have been fixtures. So it will just be interesting to see how it changes now that you don't have that energy and relationship that Blake and Adam bring to the show when they are on together. It is time to take our first break of the podcast. Before we do take that break, I want to talk to you about Care Of, which is a vitamin delivery service. If you go to takecareof.com, you can take their easy quiz to find out what you need in the way of vitamins. Summer is here. A lot of people are thinking more about their health as they are more active with the nicer weather. And you may be wondering what you can do in terms of vitamins to help your nutrition, to help your overall health. The wonderful thing about Care Of is that you take this quiz. It's about 5 minutes. They ask you some basic questions about your nutrition goals, your fitness goals, your health concerns, those sorts of things. And then they put together a personalized package of vitamins for you, a 1-month supply of vitamins. It's sent to you in individual daily packets. So you just open the packet and take all your vitamins that you need. You can always supplement if the recommendations for you don't include something that you feel like you want to take. They have protein powders. They have other supplements. It's a great program if you're looking to figure out what you need for vitamins, because if you're anything like me, there's so many vitamins and supplements and everything that you can take, and it's a little overwhelming. Care Of makes the process simpler. In other really fun news, I like it, their packaging is all now compostable, which I think is wonderful. You can take care of your own health. You can take care of the health of the planet a little bit by getting compostable packaging. If you go to takecareof.com and enter the promo code SOCIAL, SOCIAL, for a limited time, you will get 25% off of your first order of vitamins and supplements. So go to takecareof.com and enter the promo code SOCIAL to get 25% off your first order. We are going to take that break now. Stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Before the break, we talked about news from the world of music, and now we are moving on to a story about Jason Mamoa, which is always fun. You may have seen a recent video wherein Jason Mamoa shaved his beard. There was a lot of comments on that. People who were not thrilled with him shaving his beard. Some people liked it. A lot of people didn't. But he used that video to raise awareness against single-use plastic water bottles, and he is doing that again. He has grown a bit of a reputation for himself as an environmental warrior. He has a company called, oh my goodness, Mananalu. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce that. Mananalu? I'm so sorry, I just butchered that. This company, though, produces canned water as an alternative to single-use plastic water bottles. He has now partnered with Real Deal Mata as part of a hilarious PSA against plastic pollution. His video featuring Mata, a former WWE superstar, was just one snippet from a larger PSA from Lonely Whale where they urged against the use of plastic water bottles. So Momoa took to Instagram to promote the initiative, writing, "Since we couldn't be at the shoot, this is my and at Real deal Mata contribution to the cause. Mahalo at Lonely Whale and everyone involved in this PSA. Okay, so the video begins with Mamoa walking, still beardless, walking out of a building wearing a vintage t-shirt from the 1992 Pantera album Vulgar Display of Power under a black long-sleeved shirt. He then proceeds to slap a plastic water bottle out of a nearby man's hand and says, "It doesn't matter how you hydrate as long as you do it without using single-use plastic." He continues his crusade and slaps a bottle out of Mata's hands, and the two stand eye to eye as Mamoa simply says, "What?" The video then cuts to a shirtless Mamoa in a bathtub holding a champagne glass filled with ice, which he uses to numb his cut-up face. There are so many sustainable alternatives you can reach for, Mamoa says, while reaching for a reusable stainless steel bottle to fill his glass. He then continues by saying, "For our planet and for our future generations who depend on it. So please stop using single-use plastic water bottles," Mamoa says, taking another sip of water. And with that, his PSA comes to an end. So clearly, slapping a water bottle out of a former WWE's hand is not the best option, even if you are Jason Mamoa, because then you end up with your face beaten all to heck in a bathtub. I'm sure nobody who is watching the video minds that he is then in a bathtub, because there are some people who love them some Jason Mamoa, and they are not going to complain that he is in a bathtub. Regardless of his being in the bathtub or not, people are loving the PSA. Lots of supportive comments about single-use plastic water bottles, about alternatives that we can use. So regardless of what you think of the PSA, I'm grateful that it is sparking conversation, even if it is just in comments on social media. But that's where things start, and then conversations can grow from there. So hopefully this PSA will get people talking, get people thinking, and maybe looking into alternatives to those single-use plastic water bottles, because who wants to be standing on the street and get a water bottle slapped out of their hand by Jason Mamoa? Now that I said that, I can think of probably a lot of people wouldn't mind it. They'd be like, "Hey, Jason Mamoa, I just had an encounter and it was awesome." But raising awareness is always good. In other celebrity news, I never really thought I would be talking about Madonna and Tupac, but hey, why not? It's celebrity news. And apparently Madonna has lost an appeal to block Tupac breakup letter from going up for auction. I had no idea such a thing even existed, because apparently I lived under a rock at that point in my life. There was a handwritten breakup letter from Tupac Shakur addressed to Madonna while he was incarcerated in 1995, and that letter will hit the auction block at some point in July. TMZ reported on Tuesday that the pop legend's final attempt to stop the sale of the love letter would be blocked. Legal docs seen by TMZ say a New York State appeals court ruled that Madonna couldn't pursue legal action against her former art consultant Darlene Lutz or the auction house that will sell the items, Gotta Have Rock and Roll, based on a release she signed way back in 2004. The letter, dated January 15th, 1995, finds Tupac breaking things off with Madonna following a romantic dating period, in part because of their racial differences. It's quoted as saying, "For you to be seen with a black man wouldn't in any way jeopardize your career. If anything, it would make you seem that much more open and exciting. But for me, at least in my previous perception, I felt due to my image, I would be letting down half of the people who made me what I thought I was. I never meant to hurt you." I clearly was living under a rock in 1995. Maybe not under a rock, but I was living in Montana, and I apparently did not pay any attention to celebrity news because I had no idea that this even had ever happened. Wow. I just admitted that. But hey, it's interesting. It's just interesting that there was a letter. It's interesting to me that it's now being auctioned off. I'm curious to find out how much it goes for and who buys it. I'm sure, there's a lot of Tupac fans out there who would love to have this kind of memorabilia, and it's definitely kind of on the unique side in terms of Madonna and Tupac, both being very, very big names in the music industry. So I would imagine that it would go for, I have no idea, but something more than I can afford if I were interested in buying a letter like that. But yeah, so not apparently, Madonna has lost the appeal. She had tried to block the letter from going up, but apparently there was a release that she signed in 2004, and she cannot block this letter from being auctioned off. Who knew? And all kinds of interesting things. I want to move on now to Star Wars and Star Trek, sort of, but not really. This is a story involving Star Wars' Mark Hamill and Star Trek's William Shatner, although not about either Star Wars or Star Trek exactly. It's about Chucky, the creepy little doll, murderous doll that, who is now returning to the big screen this summer. I didn't think we needed another Chucky movie, but what do I know? This time, though, the doll is being voiced by none other than Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill is going to voice Chucky. He is well known for doing voice work. He's done a lot of voice work after Star Wars and after Star Wars and before Star Wars, between Star Wars. He has played various animated iterations of DC's Joker since the early 90s. Now that the actor is out there promoting the upcoming horror film, some of his fellow legends are trolling his switch to child's play. William Shatner, who of course is very well known for playing Captain Kirk in the original Star Trek, had a hilarious response to Hamill's latest Chucky tweet. He said, "Happy to know that the next generation of youth will be deathly afraid of you. You have become your father." Seriously, congratulations on the role. The original tweet was Mark Hamill's tweet on June 21st. "Are we having fun? If they don't let us play, they all go away." There's several knife emojis. Creepy. And then at Child's Play Movie and hashtag Child's Play. Oh, goodness. But I don't know. Sometimes Twitter makes me laugh. Sometimes it's crazy, and the things that happen on social media make me totally roll my eyes. But other times, it's all in good fun. Apparently, Hamill has yet to respond to the tweet by what could be his rival, at least in terms of Star Trek versus Star Wars. One other tweet said, "Oh my God, that is so creepy. I had enough in the 80s, but just because of at Hamill himself, I will do the sacrifice." Somebody else wrote, "Live long and prosper, and may the force be with the two of you." Wow, that's a mixture of genres, but that's okay. Recently, Child's Play producer Seth Grahame-Smith spoke with Cinema Blend on the upcoming movie, sharing what fans can expect from the horror reboot. He said, "We sort of lean into more of the Al/Kazlan story and hint at a Chucky that is driven by something different than he is in the original series, when he's Charles Lee Ray and he's just a truly psychopathic killer in the body of a doll." Also, there is the mother-son story, the emotional component of the movie, which I feel the movie really delivers. And then above all that, just the intensity, the gore, the fact that the movie is rated R, that it really does go there when it goes there. I think the movie looks big, is much bigger than a lot of movies that are our size. Very affordable movie we are. But we had big ambitions. Those are, I'd say, the primary things we're going for. I love Mark Hamill, but even Mark Hamill is not enough to make me go see this movie. I haven't seen any of them, and I am not going to start now, despite my love of Mark Hamill, and despite finding it hilarious that Mark Hamill and William Shatner are trading, well, not trading yet, but I'm sure it will happen, trading barbs on Twitter about the role. Speaking of horror movies, apparently Halloween's Jamie Lee Curtis and Jason Blum have been, quote, discussing stuff. That is specific. Prior to the release of Halloween last October, Blumhouse Productions' Jason Blum said they weren't going to decide if we do a sequel or not until we see the reaction to this movie. Given that the film was quite the success, both critically and commercially, it's more than likely that we have not seen the end or the last of Michael Myers. I'm going to tell you right now, haven't seen any of these movies either, and not going to do it. Again, love Jamie Lee Curtis. Love her a lot. But nope, not going to do it. At any rate, Jason Blum posted a photo on Twitter earlier today of Jamie Lee Curtis and himself with the caption teasing, "We're discussing stuff." Now, the stuff in question, of course, could be anything, but Jamie Lee Curtis is holding an action figure of Laurie Strode. So I suppose that there is a possibility that they are discussing a possible sequel. It's a very cute picture at any rate. And I don't know, they could be discussing whatever. Halloween co-writer Danny McBride had previously teased that they already had a few ideas of where they want to go with the sequel. He said, "We definitely have ideas of what we would do. I think we did not allow ourselves to really indulge those ideas until the movie came out. We just wanted to put all our hopes and dreams in having this film stick the landing. But we do have thoughts and ideas of what we could possibly do. We hadn't invested a ton of time on them, but now we're being asked to figure it out. There are definitely talks on whether we will do more of them, and we're just trying to see what makes sense." So it looks like more than just Jason Blum and Jamie Lee Curtis are discussing stuff. Other people are at least thinking about stuff and contemplating stuff and figuring out if that stuff is going to result in another Michael Myers Halloween movie. Cool, good for them. A lot of people love the franchise, and that's awesome. Not going to go see it. But that's just me, and my one not going to see it is not going to make a difference to the franchise. It is time to take our second break of the podcast. When we come back, a few more stories from the world of entertainment. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. This story I have to include just because it is so slightly ridiculous. It's not ridiculous per se. It's just, to me, it makes me laugh because Bill and Ted is really happening. This third Bill and Ted movie is actually happening. They've been talking about it for a while, and I loved the first one. It was hilarious to teenage me when it came out, but now I can't quite imagine middle-aged me watching middle-aged Bill and Ted. It could go so many different directions, but it has been announced that there's been some new casting announced, and that is that Bridget Lundley Payne, who has been on Atypical, and Samara Weaving, who has been on 3 billboards, have joined the cast of Bill and Ted Face the Music. Weaving will play Thea, the daughter of Alex Winter's character Bill, while Lundy Payne will play Billy, the daughter of Keanu Reeves' Ted. And now I'm just realizing that Bill and Ted are parents, and oh my goodness. Producer Scott Krupp said in a press release recently, when we saw Samara and Bridget together, it was like deja vu. It was exactly the way we felt when we first saw Keanu and Alex. We are so thrilled to have this funny and unique pair join the Bill and Ted team. Dean Parasote is directing the time travel comedy, and it has been written by writers Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. It is set to open August 21st, 2020, and it does follow Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which came out in 1989, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in 1991. Again, teenage me is super excited. Middle-aged me is weirdly excited and also frightened, but my brother and I still have random quotes from Bill and Ted. Did you know there was also an animated Bill and Ted series on for a while? I have no idea how long it was on, but a cartoon, animated Saturday morning Bill and Ted cartoon. It was I honestly can't remember anything except that one of them once said, "What odious aroma assails my nose holes," or something along those lines. That's the only thing I remember from it, but apparently that stuck with me. So yes, I will watch it. Eventually I will go see the new Bill and Ted movie. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Won't go see the horror movies that we talked about in the previous segment, but I'll go see Bill and Ted. What does that say about me? I'm okay with that. At any rate, it is time to wrap up this episode of the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me as I admitted all of my movie do's and don'ts. Please join me again next time, and we will talk about whatever else is happening in the world of entertainment that will pop up between now and then. Have a great day.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.